Reporting live from Redline News World Headquarters, this is RNN. My name's Jet Likings.
And I'm Vic Morano. Let us recap this week in supercar news and redirect you into the automotive YouTube world.
This week on Redline News, we have the world's highest horsepower C8,
Audi E-Tron GT,
R8 catches air,
twin-turbo C8 versus twin-turbo R8,
Jeffree Star's Cullinan,
and Aventador on snow tracks.
Let's go.
Kicking off this week in supercar news, well, it's kind of controversial whether it's a supercar or not, but nevertheless, the oldest, newest car sold in the US. A Connecticut dealer sold a brand new 2014 Lotus Evora S Coupe. This car has been in stock for 7 years. It's sold with an expired warranty and $20,000 under sticker price. Nothing like buying a brand new car and having to change the tires, oil, and charge the battery.
In other news, let's take it over to Mansory with the Ford GT. Now, Mansory is back with its second version of the new Gen 4 GT build, dubbed La Mansory. Now, this thing is gaudy, showing up in black with red accents. Body mods look very similar to the version 1 Mansory GT, including bumpers, side skirts, and a wing, and obviously it has the Mansory interior treatment. Now, Mansory was able to get under the hood and retune this thing to produce 700 horsepower and 620 foot-pounds, propelling it to 220 miles per hour. Not bad for La Mansory's evil twin. Now let's get electrified with the Audi E-Tron GT. Now, in case you missed it, Audi rolled out its next electric vehicle dubbed the E-Tron GT. The E-Tron rides on the same technology that the Porsche Taycan uses. There are two models, the base GT and the RS, starting at $99,900 and $139,900 respectively. Now, the models pump out 350 kilowatts or 470 horsepower, and the RS pumps out 440 kilowatts or 590 horsepower. Now, almost like an overclock computer, you can overclock these to pump out 522 and 637 horsepower, respectively. The RS is able to run a 0 to 62 in 3.3 seconds with launch control and overboost, aka overclocking. Now, just like the fast charging technology on your phone, these Audis pack similar tech, allowing 62 miles out of a 5-minute charge. When fully charged, they can get ranges of about 230 miles. Seeing how tuner-friendly Audi is with their gas and diesel engines, I can't wait to see how these eventually get tuned.
Porsche and McLaren both have debuts coming at you Tuesday, February 16th. First off, the 2022 Porsche 911 GT3 will debut Tuesday, February 16th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. From what we know, it will pack a naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6, as well as a manual transmission. From testing pictures, it looks to have a carbon fiber hood, a huge diffuser, and a huge wing. Link to the live stream in the description. For the second debut, the McLaren Artura is set to debut February 16th as well, 7 p.m. Eastern Time via live stream. The link will also be in the description. We discussed this in last week's episode, so if you missed it, go check it out on our channel. Subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future.
Now, let's head on over to our YouTube news with the world's highest horsepower Corvette C8 with Emelia Hartford. Now, on Thursday, we get the first drive in the C8 with standalone and the new clutches. They did some final touches on the C8, including the trans relearn, and they hit the road. Car seems to be running smoothly. They head on over to Sheepey to get the car on the dyno for tuning, and we learned that there's going to be a surprise guest coming from Texas to tune this thing. Now, the next episode on Saturday is breaking the world record. They get the car on the dyno at Sheepey, and Alex is prepared and has race fuel and meth, and they go for a ride in Whistling Diesel's twin turbo R8, and they actually hit a bump in the road and get air in this R8. They end up breaking, or actually bending, the front rim on this car. Now, we then learn that the special guest who will be tuning will be Pite's Performance, and it's actually going to be a long process because they have to manage the Holly Dominator and also the Pite's controller, and it's almost like a juggling act. Anyways, they put down a nice 730 horsepower on 91 octane. They call this a street tune, and the clutch is held pretty nicely. They then get it back on the dyno and run an 825 horsepower, then a 990, then a 935, then a 970. Then they finally do 1,022 horsepower, and it is the highest horsepower C8 in the world. Congratulations, Emelia. We'll be popping bottles here for you. Now, on Wednesday, Whistling Diesel races his R8 against the C8. This is because the C8 is all dialed in, and Whistling Diesel was obviously picking up his car from Sheepey Race. Now, they do a couple rev battles, and they both agree the Audi R8 actually sounds better. Then they do a couple pulls, and the R8 just simply walks the C8. Emelia has trouble launching this thing with boost from a roll. I can't wait for her to get it dialed in and repeat this race.
Kicking off Strad's Redline week, Thursday, Stradman flies to LA to meet up with Jeffree Star, who's taking delivery of a one-of-one custom-spec'd Rolls-Royce Cullinan. This is the highest spec'd, most expensive Cullinan in the world. So all of Jeffree Star's vehicles are pink, and this one is no exception. Everything is pink. I mean everything. From the exterior paint to the full interior, the steering wheel, the center caps on the wheels, and even the umbrella in the door. So if you're a fan of pink cars, this one's for you. This brings us to Monday's video. If you guys have listened to the Strad and Burlacker podcast on the Stereo app, you would know that he has decided to put his Lamborghini Aventador on tracks with a little help from Dave Sparks. Now, this is the world's first Lamborghini on winter tracks, and it looks crazy. Everything starts off well, the car seems to be working perfectly fine, and has no problem ripping through the snow until they get to some deep stuff. Strad gets the Lamborghini stuck in about 18 inches of snow, and then the clutch warning light comes on. So they tow it out and they just keep going. Right after, Dave Sparks himself gets it stuck in some deep, deep snow. This one ends with them towing the Lamborghini completely broken down. It looks like we're gonna have to wait for the next upload to see the extent of damage. My guess is a blown clutch.
Now let's shift on over to DDE with 4 episodes this week. If you thought 3 was a lot in a Redline week, try 4. First episode is Damon starts off saying he has $30,000 in a parts box inside waiting to be installed. We find out that this is an MSO titanium harness bar with harnesses, which equals about $14,000, and Senna seats, which are actually full carbon buckets. They let us know that they're actually going to paint the 720S in lieu of wrapping, and it's going to be a livery. We also get an update that the 720 will be finished in a couple weeks. As a reminder, it's getting the bumper modded for center exhaust. Next episode is the Buying a Hypercar episode. Damon and Mia take out SR Auto's Agera RS. They explain how they can afford a hypercar, but will need to look at registering or insuring in a different country like the United States or a different Canadian province. They ask fans what hypercar they should buy, and is this an Easter egg like they did when they test drove the P1? As a reminder, they were test driving the P1 and were telling fans basically the same thing and ended up buying that P1. Is an Agera in the future for DDE? We'll see. But Damon says that they may get one of these cars sooner than one may think. Let's head on over to Monday's episode, which is 2 more R34 GTRs. Now they look at 2 GTRs that are left-hand drive due to being imported from Dubai. If you didn't know, cars in Dubai have to be left-hand drive, and right-hand drive is actually illegal. So this left-hand drive conversion can be done using a Nissan Maxima dash or actually doing it custom. And it seems to be a lot of questions regarding this conversion process on these 2 cars, so they won't be buying these anytime soon. Last episode from them this week is the $75,000 dream car. Now this is the building of the ITR with spoon parts. Basically, it's been a childhood dream to do this build, and they finally got to do it. This is the entire build happening over the past couple months in one episode. It's $50,000 in parts, and it's literally spoon everything, including steering wheel, mirrors, caps, hoses, brackets, coilovers, headers, brake calipers, and tons more.
Streetspeed 717 with only one video this week, Monday, starting out at the Whitmore dealership. Mike takes delivery of yet another high country, this one being his 3rd. We'll see how long this one lasts on the channel. Mike then drops a little secret that him and Shane have been working on a project behind closed doors, and it turns out to be a custom C8 Corvette body kit. And once it's done, they will be offering a full fiberglass or carbon fiber body kit for all C8 Corvettes. Now they still are in the design phase, but we get to look at some rocker panels, a front lip, and a pretty aggressive looking rear wing. Capping this one off, Streetspeed actually ends up selling the T-Rex to his friends Shane and Justin for just 20 grand. Now remember, the MSRP on this thing was over $90,000, but I guess with a couple dings and scratches on the truck, it's a pretty good deal. Mike does inform us that the replacement for the TRX is currently sitting in his driveway. If you guys have any guesses, drop them in the comments.
Now let's catch Sheepey Race's perspective on Emelia Hartford and Whistling Diesel with Friday's episode titled Whistling Diesel's 1400 horsepower R8. Now Emelia is tuning her C8 in the background of this video. If you missed it, head on over to her channel to catch it. Alex explains that Cody from Whistling Diesel is one of the most humble guys out there and that he actually paid full price for the twin turbo kit. They end up delivering the R8 to Cody and show him the basics, including how to switch maps. As shown in the Emelia vlog, he hits a bump, catches air, and when he lands, he ends up denting his rim. Now, Cody seems to like the power, says it's fast, and he's just beyond happy.
TJ Hunt with 3 videos this week. Friday, TJ brings that 65 Mustang to the MagnaFlow HQ to see how much power this thing really has. The original owner says that it makes 400 horsepower, so they throw it on the dyno, and on its best run, unfortunately only makes 218 horsepower. TJ ends up leaving the Mustang at MagnaFlow to get some work done that he can't tell us about. Sunday's video starts off with TJ taking delivery of a wide body kit for his Huracan. Every single body part except the roof and doors will be getting replaced. The cool thing about this kit is it actually requires 0 cutting. Even the rear fenders can be unbolted and the new kit installed using factory holes. Tuesday's video kicks off part 1 of his wide body install series. TJ and Calvin actually make some good progress removing a ton of parts and even installing the rear fender. This thing is going to be sweet. Cannot wait to see it finished.
Now viewers, you've asked for it and they have delivered. Royalty Exotics is back with another repo episode. Now, before we get into that, Houston starts off with us getting a sneak peek at a Bugatti intake manifold. Now, we know that Houston's collecting bug parts. We know he's building a hypercar with Mondi. So what the heck is he doing? I mean, what is this thing going to look like? And what are the specs going to be? Well, we'll find out soon because I guess he has 30 plus videos of what he's been doing in the background and he's going to release them soon. Anyways, we get a quick car update, including the Lotus, the Gallardo, and the Ford GT, and then we get into the repo mission. They have to go pick up a Rolls Royce that the renter said that they lost the key. Now they get to the thing which is parked on the side of the road. It has some scratches. The spare key doesn't work. Now it's probably just a battery in it that's dead, but the drive selector is broken, so they're gonna have to tow it home.
Donut Media with 4 videos this week. Who can find the best project car challenge? Hyundai wants to build Transformers. Figuring out why Tesla hit a truck. And cutting a hole in Nolan's exhaust to see how loud it is. Doug Demuro with 3 car reviews this week. A $500,000 Porsche Cayenne custom movie filming car, a Ferrari 812 GTS, and a 1988 Volga.
Well, that brings us to about Redline this week. I am so excited for both of those debuts this week, including the McLaren Artura and the 911 GT3.
As am I, Jet. I'm more excited to watch these debuts than I was to watch Pat Mahomes get blown out in the Super Bowl.
Well, hey, don't miss out. Check out our reviews on these debuts next Friday.
Smash that subscribe button and turn that bell notification on. If you haven't already, check us out on Instagram.
Until next time, keep it at Redline.